Hello, this is Hani Abdul Malik, and this is the third video in a series titled How to Read the Bible. In the first two videos, I addressed the first stage of exegesis, which is what the text meant. Also, how to deal with your own presupposition. We all have presupposition, how to deal with those. In this third video, I would like to address the issue of significance. So let's pull the slides. Okay, so how to read the Bible, third video. So let's talk about significance. So what I mean by significance is what the text means to us today. What a biblical passage means to my contemporary audience today. So significance basically gleaning the meaning of a biblical passage for your contemporary audience. Now there are two main things to take into your account when dealing with significance of a biblical passage. Two main things to consider. First, there is a chasm between the context of the biblical audience and the biblical text, what we call them the original audience sometimes. So there is a chasm between the original audience and the context of your own contemporary audience. So there is a chasm between the context of the biblical passage and the contemporary and your contemporary audience. So as you see here on the screen, there is a chasm in the picture on the PowerPoint. There's a chasm between two parts, two hills, you can say. So one of them may represent the biblical time, biblical audience, and the other one represents your contemporary audience. And your job is to try to connect those, to mend for this chasm. In order to do that, in order to connect those, you got to know both of them. Okay, you got to know both of them very well. So know the historical and theological context of the biblical passage that you are studying, and we talked about this in previous videos. But also, it's very important that you know your audience very well. So, for instance, are they college students? Are they elderly people? Are they Westerners or international audience? Know your audience. Knowing your audience very well will help you to connect both. To connect them to the biblical passage or the biblical word. Okay. So this is the first thing you should take into your consideration. The second. The second thing is that the significant. You got to be careful that the significance of the biblical text should stem from your study of what it meant, not from your current audience situations or issues, but rather from what is in the biblical text itself, what is in the biblical passage itself, and can apply to the situation of your audience, your contemporary audience. Okay, so as you see here in the screen, there is a kind of a bridge, okay, between two parts, and you're connecting them. So you are so what you're doing here in this stage is basically building a bridge. We can call it interpretation bridge or interpretive bridge, and through this bridge, the meaning flow from the biblical context to your own audience. Okay, you are basically building a connection. You can say a connection between what the biblical passage meant to its original audience and your own audience, your own contemporary audience. This is what you do in this step. So that's why you can call it a significance. You make it significant to your own audience. You aim for your audience to see and understand the significance of this biblical passage to them. Remember, the Bible contains valuable truths, not only historical data or data about the background of the time or even the theology of the time. The Bible contains valuable truths, valuable wisdom, and these truths is buried in the historical and linguistic grounds. And your job is to study and to get these truths to your audience. Okay, so you're connecting your audience and listener not only to the biblical word, but more importantly to the biblical truth, to the biblical wisdom that can go beyond all historical and linguistic or culture, even culture boundaries. I have to say here or acknowledge that there are some passages in the scriptures that are harder to read, harder to understand. Even whole books, like for example the book of Ecclesiastes or the book of Revelation in the New Testament. These books or passages require more work on your part to discern what it meant. Okay, so this is the first stage of the exegesis. So you need more work to know what it meant to its original audience. Okay, it needs more work to do on this end than the work needed to apply them to your audience. And this is true generally for Old Testament, but not limited to Old Testament passages. Okay. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you find it helpful, do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel Out of Egypt. Have a great and wonderful day, and I hope to meet you again in following videos. Okay.